All right, everybody, we're going to continue on. We're now joined by Erik Jones, driver of the number 20 Research Toyota. Erik, you've had a lot of success here at Texas. Can you just walk us through coming into this weekend and your outlook on it all?
I think Texas has always been a place that I've enjoyed from really everything I've ran here, from trucks to Xfinity and now in Cup. The repave changed it a lot here last year, and made it quite a bit different than what it was. A little bit different. I've enjoyed it so far. It's been a fun track, but always like coming down here. I love the track. Really like the area as well, and it's just one of my favorite places we get to go to.
Fantastic. We'll go ahead and open up for questions. All right, we'll start up here with Nate.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Very significant question here. Have you seen the new kids on the track thing out here that you're a part of?
Well, I've seen it. So we were actually just talking about it in the hauler. And I don't know the new kids on the block. So I was born in 1996, and the last year they were a group was 1995. So they asked me what new kid on the block I was, and I was like, man, I got to be honest with you, I have no idea. So I saw it. It's cool. It made me laugh. I like the sign they put next to it better. At first, I thought Harvick actually put it there. I was like, that's pretty funny. But then I realized the track did it.
Speaking of that, there's been a lot of chatter the last few weeks about the generational divide and if the older guys are jealous. What's your take on that? What Harvick and others have said?
Well, I think it's it's just cyclical. I mean, we haven't had a young crop of guys all enter the sport at once in, I don't know, probably 15 years now. And when you see this many young guys coming at once, obviously I think NASCAR's done a good job of trying to promote us and giving us, an advantage early on to get our names out there and get some more fans and get some more exposure. And, we all appreciate it. I mean, we're willing to, to take advantage of those events. And I think Blaney said it well I guess it was back at Media Day now in Charlotte. I think we're just more willing to take some of these opportunities that they're not willing to. A lot of them have families and want to spend as much time at home as they can. And, for us to take a trip to, wherever or spend some extra time somewhere isn't as big of a deal. So, I think we're just more willing right now to take advantage of some of those opportunities.
Do you have any other questions? All right, we'll go up here to Jim.
Jim Hunter, Motorsport.com. Erik, you guys have been fairly consistent so far this season, but haven't led any laps since Daytona. Where do you feel you are right now, and do you feel you're about the same as your JGR teammates or missing something?
I think, I feel like Denny and I have run really similar most weekends. Kyle's obviously been a little bit of a step ahead of us, running, up in the top 5 consistently. So we just need to take that next leap of getting up towards the top 5 and contending more and leading laps. We did a good job of that towards the end of last season on the 77, of running in the top 5 a little bit more. And, we're running better early on than we did last year. We're getting some top 10s. Martinsville was a struggle, which is it's always kind of been for me. So that wasn't too much of a surprise. But we've ran well on the West Coast. And, I think coming to Texas, this is the weekend where I've kind of got marked down where we get up in the top 5 and hopefully contend more throughout the day. Auto Club was a better race for us. So hopefully coming here, we can get up and just get some more stage. That's a big thing we've been missing out on is stage points this year. We haven't done a good job. Our midpoint of the race we haven't ran as well as we should have, and haven't earned those stage points like we really should have. So, hopefully this weekend we can get up front and run in the top 5. Yeah, it definitely gives you some confidence. I mean, it's very different, but I would say on a repave like this, the two cars are more similar than maybe any other weekend. So there's a lot of things I feel like I take from the Xfinity car that, that assisted in some speed. So getting over to the Cup car, there's a lot of things that I remember from last year that we needed to work on. There's a new left side tire here this weekend, which has been really different. We fired off practice nowhere near where we needed to be, but did a good job of getting it turned around and getting it close. So kind of see where it goes. But I think there is a lot of information I can lean on for my Xfinity stuff here.
We're going to go over to Claire, and then we'll bounce over to Lee.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. I read a quote from you that I thought was really good about the aggressiveness in Kevin Harvick, and when you come in and you're very young, kind of deciding how to be aggressive and then how to lay back. Where are you on that right now?
Starting the year last year, I thought I was kind of laid back and, biding my time and finishing race as well. And then as the year went on, I got more and more aggressive and, at times would get myself into accidents, and we had a lot of DNFs in the midpoint of the year and towards the end of the year, which we really was my own fault quite a few times. So, I think just trying to find that middle ground this year has been important to me, and finding out a good balance of, charging hard. I mean, you want to run as hard as you can every lap, but sometimes you got to take what it's giving you. And if it's a 7th or 8th place day, it's a 7th or 8th place day. And I feel like there was times where we had a 6th or 7th place car, and I was really pushing the limit to get it up into the top 5 or 4, and that's when we would get into trouble. So, I think early on, these first few races, I've done a better job at it. We just, need to keep going down that path.
All right, we'll take it to Lee.
I was wondering about you're 4th on the list in qualifying averages. How do you kind of maintain that to where your finishes are, getting closer to where you're starting? Some people, they have the other problem. They can't qualify, and then it's like a pain in the ass to come through the field. But you're starting out on the right foot. How do you finish there?
I was home last week in Michigan, and I was laughing because I've got a lot of pole awards from go-karts and late models, and I don't have as many trophies as I have pole awards. So, I think going fast in my career hasn't been the issue. I think sometimes we just don't have, I really have optimized my car for speed, which is great, but it doesn't transfer over to the race, and we don't race as well into the long run. So, I think we're kind of working out some new stuff over on the 20 team. I mean, it's 2 new engineers than what Chris worked with last year and what I worked with last year. So we're kind of all learning each other and figuring out what we need to do, from from happy hour to the race and overnight, and, balancing out those adjustments. We had really gotten to a point last year where I felt really comfortable in saying, what the car was doing and what it needed, and we would make really good changes and start the race off really strong. But so far this year, I feel like there's been times where we just haven't started the race where we need to be. We've ended practice decent, and then the changes we make overnight aren't exactly what we need. So we just need to improve on that. And, if we can do that, it'll bode a lot better, obviously. We just got to start the races better. That's been our issue.
Has it helped to be in-house rather than, being with a team that's, thousands of miles away?
Well, it's definitely nice to see everybody. I enjoy hanging out with my team and being around the guys and being able to go up and, see Chris in person. It makes it easier just to discuss things. It's you can do as much as you want over the phone and, everything else, but there's nothing like just getting to go face to face and see and talk to, talk to Chris, talk to the engineers, talk to the guys on the car. So it's been nice for me. I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time at Furniture Row, but it's definitely nice to be able to see everybody face to face again. Mm-hmm.
We have any final questions for Erik? All right, Erik, we'll have a good
All right.
weekend.
Thanks.